So today, we're already in the groove, that feeling like we are flowing with Spirit. We're flowing with that divine energy. And it seems so different so contrary to the world, most of the Western culture, or really increasingly all over the world. It feels like most of the world, in modern society, is this consciousness of acquisition. How can I get? How can I get more? How can I keep what I got? All of that getting. It's like we raise children, not you and I, but in general, to do well in school for the sole purpose of getting into a good college. And they need to get into a good college so they can get a good job, so they can have a good salary, so they can get benefits, and then they get a promotion, then they need to get a raise, and then we're in another job, and then they need to get married, and get a house, and get a car, and get things, and then have children so that they can get into college. And the whole cycle just keeps going. And some people try to get into a big church, which tells them how to get into heaven. And along the way, many people get disillusioned. Disillusioned is an interesting word. It literally means being freed from an illusion. Being freed from an illusion. What illusion? The illusion that getting money and jobs and people and things, that getting makes us happy, that's what life is all about. Well, if that's not what life is all about, then what is it about? Giving. It's giving, yes. It's about giving. It's about giving. Study after study has proven that we are the happiest when we're giving. And now, don't get me wrong. I don't mean to say that having a good education or a good job or getting married or having a nice house or a good car or beautiful things, that's a bad thing. Not at all. Not me. You won't catch me preaching the gospel of frugality. No. I like beautiful things. I like my home. What I'm saying is that those things in and of themselves don't make us happy. That's, doesn't give meaning to life. That it doesn't make a life. What makes a life is the love that we give. That's what gives meaning to life, that makes a life. The love that we give. So, in that, we can transform all of this, right? So in that job that we have, we can always ask ourselves, how can I give more of my gifts, my talents, my skills, my assistance to others? How can I do whatever it is I do with more love? And we can ask ourselves in our relationship, how can I give more love? And in our home and our things, that we have, we can always ask ourselves, how can I allow this to feed me, to nourish me, so that I can be a more peaceful, joyous person in the world? And in our money, we can also ask ourselves, how can I give? How can I share a portion of my abundance? How can this money make a difference in the lives of others? And so, when we do this, when we come from a consciousness of giving, see, now our hearts are open. And we're connected with others. We're connected with the world. We're becoming connected. And we are also opening up to Source. We're opening up to limitless good, to the flow of life. So you really can't open up to the flow of life, to, the flow of abundance until you give. It's just how we're created. Just how we're created. God, divine mind, the divine love of the universe is the ultimate giver, the divine givingness of the universe. And we are created in the image and likeness, right? We are expressions of that one, so it's our nature. It's our nature to give up our time and our talents and our treasure and our energy and our love. That's our nature. See, now then, we're working in harmony with the universe. We're working in harmony. We're not resisting the flow. We're giving way to the divine flow. We're giving way to the divine flow. See, when we're in that energy of just getting, we're actually blocking that circulation. It's like breathing in and refusing to breathe out. Try that. It doesn't last very long. Something's got to give. Something's got to give. So, you know, if there is a magic formula for happiness, it's giving. That's it. And if there's any lack in any area of your life, think give. You know, if there's a lack of friendship, give of your friendship. If there's a lack of love in your committed relationship, be the first one to give more love. If there's a lack of employment, give of your talents, your time, your gifts. Volunteer somewhere. Get into that energy of giving. If there's a lack of health and well-being in the physical, give thanks. Give thanks. Particularly if it's, you know, a lack of, you know, if you're sad or depressed or, you know, emotional being, give thanks. You know, we're just about to celebrate Thanksgiving, and it's my favorite holiday, one of my favorite holidays, right? It's all about giving thanks. I promise you, I think that this is why our nation is so prosperous. I mean, overall, is because we and Canada does just, so North America, we actually take a day out of the year and focus on what we're grateful for. And some of us a week or a month or, you know, a lifetime, we focus on what we're grateful for. So that giving thanks gets us right into that flow. And, you know, if it's illness in the physical body, we can ask ourselves, how can I give more love and nurturing to my body? How can I pay attention? How can I listen? You know, our bodies are always sending us messages. So we want to listen, give attention. And if we're having a lack of money in our lives, we want to give something of what we have. Give something. We need to start that process, activate that process of circulation. And if there's absolutely no money at all, go through the closets and the drawers and the corners, and you'll find something to give to somebody. Or again, give of your time in service to others. Get into that energy of giving. Give, and it will be given to you. That's the secret formula. You see, there's no lack in the universe. Absolutely no lack. You know, limitless good is all around us and within us. We're breathing it. Breathe it in. We're breathing limitless substance. We're swimming in it. We're swimming in it. We're swimming in limitless substance. We just need to become aware of it and play in that energy. You know, in our Thursday evening class, we are reading Eric Butterworth's Spiritual Economics, classic book, Spiritual Economics. And he says in there, the only thing that you can be lacking is for a good idea. Is that great? And he says, you are one idea away from all the wealth there is in the universe. All the wealth you can imagine, one idea away. And that you could take that literally or figuratively. You know, literally, one idea away from some amazing product or service that takes off, that just goes viral and makes a gazillion dollars, right? It happens. People have done it. Happens. Or it can be figuratively that where one idea, that divine idea, that idea that we are one with it all, that we are that infinite good. We are that infinite good, see, in expression. That infinite love, that infinite peace, that infinite life, that infinite abundance. We're an expression of it. We are it. We're it. This is who we are. And when we become aware of it, we want to keep the channels open for the flow, for that divine flow to flow through us into the world and blessing others. That's how that feeling, that's how we're in harmony with the way it works. So Eric Butterworth says, when you begin to see things from the high perspective of the ever-presence of God's substance, you will be in the creative flow of abundance, which will bless your life with sustained affluence. And it will also go forth from you as a prospering influence in the world. It will go forth from you as a prospering influence in the world. So again, literally and figuratively. You know, literally, when we give of, it's not meant to be hoarded, it's meant to be given. Not that you give everything, yes, you save too, that's important. You save, you give, you spend, and when we spend, right, we're helping to, feed the economy. We create jobs that way. That when we give and support charities, we're actually making a difference in people's lives. We're making a difference in people's lives. And if you ever want to look for a really wonderful charity that actually does touch people's lives, individually, talk to the people that are on the outreach team, because they are connected with things that make such a difference in individuals' lives. And when we contribute financially to our spiritual community, we are literally ensuring that we continue to be here for you and for others, and hopefully to grow and flourish. I love that word, flourish. Say that word, flourish. I want to flourish in every way. It's our nature to flourish. So that's how that flow goes. And then metaphorically, figuratively, our consciousness can be a prospering influence in the world. Our consciousness, particularly when our consciousness is infused with the ideas that limitless good is all around us and within us, that idea infuses the collective consciousness. Now, how does our consciousness affect the economy? It really is the only thing that does. It's one mind, we all share it. And so all of our beliefs, all of our fears, all of our thoughts, all of our love, all of that goes into that collective consciousness that we all share. And it creates our experience collectively in life. So that affects the economy too. I mean, look at the stock market. The rise and fall of the stock market is all dependent upon the confidence of, or the lack of confidence of, the American people. When we feel, the majority of us feels that things are going well financially, the stock market rises. When we're in fear and we're feeling like, no, that consciousness, the stock market is affected then that way too. And, we can also, in how we give, how we share of our abundance, and how we share of these ideas, can help us when we are sharing our abundance, even when we are forced to, like paying our taxes. You know, we can transform that whole experience into giving. I have a friend, Shelley Campbell, who I've mentioned here before, who creates this, has developed this program called Financial Stress Reduction. And she gives these classes, has for years, and she once told me that in her class, she had somebody, a guy in her class, who was just resisting the whole idea of paying taxes. He was just like, I just can't, and so much energy in that resistance, right? So she had to find out, what is this about? And he said, well, I don't want to pay my taxes because that's helping to fund the military-industrial complex and, you know, all of the governmental waste. And she looked at him and said, really? My taxes go to pay teacher salaries and build libraries and fund national parks and build bridges. And he's like, what? You don't know that? How do you know that? She's, of course, I don't know that. I'm not certain. But when I think of it that way, that makes me happy. So in other words, I gotta pay taxes anyway. Why not focus on all the good that it can do? And it's true, some of that money does go to those things. So focus on the good that it can do. And so in that way, you're kind of blessing it, right? You're blessing it. And we can bless it. You know, the money is just energy, as we're talking about in our class. It's just energy. It's neutral. Not good or bad. It's just energy. And we can think about, you know, you can transform your whole bill paying thing. And just thinking it in terms of an energy exchange. That we are exchanging energy that we have because we exchanged our energy, our gifts, and our talents, you know, and our time, you know, wherever we worked or are working now. That's energy that comes in that we're now exchanging for goods and services that we've already received. Stuff that we want, like electricity and heat and our phone and, you know, a roof over our head. So it's an energy exchange. It's a dance of this energy. So think about it the next time you go to pay bills. It will completely transform your experience of that. And, you know, also, our consciousness can be a prospering influence in the world just individually, you know, one-on-one. Like, for instance, the other day, I was driving in my car, and I stopped at the top of the off-ramp. And there was a homeless guy who was standing there with the sign, you know, homeless vet, looking really forlorn, really sad. You know, sometimes, there's such a variety, you know, sometimes homeless people, they got a big smile on their face, or they're clever with their sign, or they're singing maybe, or they just, you know, they have an energy about them, and you just feel really good about, you know, giving them something. This guy was given nothing. He was just like sad. But something inside me said, not only give him $1, but give him that Science of Mind magazine that you have. I have a stack of old Science of Mind magazines and Unity magazines and Daily Word in my pocket in my seat, and I sometimes give it when I feel led to do that. And so I felt led to do that, and I rolled down the window and I gave that to him. You know, it was cold, I rolled the window up, and a moment later, he came and knocked on my window, and I rolled it down, and he was like almost in tears. And he said, oh my God, this is so, you have no idea how meaningful this is to me. Not the dollar, the magazine. He's looking at it, and I was telling him, you know, these are ideas about how to find inner peace, and how to, you know, how our thoughts affect our experience in life. And he started telling me that he had been released from the military with a dishonorable discharge. And And then the light turned green and I had to go. But you could see that he was so grateful, you know, that there was something that might give him some inspiration. You know, and I went away and I felt so good, like I could actually, something that could make a big impact in someone's life. We never know. When we share these ideas, you never know what kind of impact you can make in someone's life. So don't be shy about sharing these ideas. We don't want to be the best kept secret, right? This is not meant to be secret society here. Share these ideas. Don't proselytize. I'm not saying proselytize. I'm not saying beat people over the head. But, you know, if you feel moved, follow your guidance. Share these ideas. You never know what could make, when that can really impact people. So this is all to say that when we give way to the divine flow, by jumping into that energy of giving of our love and our energy and our ideas and our resources and our, you know, all that we have, when we give, and that's a prospering influence in our lives and in the world.